morning and welcome to Business Insight and Plus TV Africa of your host, Justin Akadonye. Today we turn our attention on Edo State's economy, where a string of high-profile announcements and policy actions have generated national attention. A new electricity reform bill, a 70 billion naira agricultural fund, oil well reclamation effort, and ongoing infrastructure development are just some of the initiatives being rolled out by the governor on Monday, Okhuemoni's administration. But beneath the press statements lie questions. How measurable are the outcomes? Are these projects being driven by long-term strategy or political timelines? And what do the people of Edo actually experience in their daily lives? We'll be looking at all of these on the show today. Stay with me. All right, welcome back to Business Insight and Plus TV Africa. Let's take a look at a few data points. Edo State has reportedly committed 70 billion naira to revamp its agricultural sector, one of the largest single state investments in recent times. The Electricity Bill 2025, signed into law earlier this year, seeks to empower the states to independently generate and distribute electricity, a major move post-constitutional reforms. There's also the issue of reclaimed oil wells in Oyon local government area, a move many say could redefine state-level resource control if successful. Yet, reports also show that the state may be losing as much as $1 billion annually in potential investment due to insecurity, particularly court-related violence. And while road and infrastructure development continues, skepticism remains about timelines, deliverables, and inclusion. So how far has Edo State really come and what work still lies ahead? To help us interrogate this development, I'm joined by Mr. Bugie Okhuemoi, the special advisor on media to Governor of Edo State. Many thanks for joining us, Bugie.
Thank you very much, Justin. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it is our pleasure to have you. A whole lot is happening in Edo State. Let's start with agricultural funding. From what we hear, 70 billion naira is a headline grab and figure, but what specific farmer-focused programs back this investment?
Thank you. Okay, so as has been announced severally, a major area of focus, in fact, one of the strongest priorities of Governor of Edo State government is focus and attention on agriculture. The ultimate vision, the ultimate objective is to build agriculture in Edo State to the point where it's not just enough to feed its people, but to feed the country as well, as a major income generation. Just like you mentioned, the budget provision for agriculture this year was over 70 billion naira. In the previous budget from the last administration, agriculture was about just a little over 5 billion. So you can imagine, the quantum difference. Governor Okhuemoni is driving an agenda in agriculture that he calls the Back to Farm project, all of us going back to the farm. And it's going to entail large parcels of land, about 3,000 hectares of land across the three senatorial districts, Edo South, Edo Central, and Edo North, about 1,000 hectares in each of those districts. Clearing has already been done. The farming season has already started. It's going to operate through partnerships with the farmers and the farmer and their cooperatives. What's going to happen is the farmers are going to be given equipment. They are going to be given high yield seedlings. They are going to be given the fertilizers. They are going to be given, of course, irrigation systems will be provided. Everything the farmer requires will be given to the farmer. The only input the farmer has is to till the ground and to cultivate the crops. What the government is going to do is a cluster of farmers will be given 5 hectares to farm, and when the yield comes, when the harvest comes, the farmers take the sales and profit from one of the hectares, while the government takes for 4. So the farmers are empowered, the farmers make money, and agriculture grows. The government is looking at maize and a few other crops. What's also beautiful is that the government just set up the Edo State Rural Road Agency, which is going to focus on developing roads within the rural areas to ensure that the crops, the produce from these farm settlements are brought out easily to reduce post-harvest losses. And so much has been designed for the agricultural space, and it's something a lot of the investors who have been coming around have shown major interest in.
Okay, yeah, it's a good thing the governor and the government of Edo State is really focusing on agriculture because we really need to feed the people because yeah, they say a hungry man is an Isaac. Now let's talk about electricity, which is one major issue that affects businesses, even the whole farming thing. If you don't have adequate power supply, you might even have issues with the post-harvest losses that you mentioned about, and of course, just general business, environment, and the climate in Edo State. Okay, let's start. I'm sure there's a new bill, electricity bills, that's supposed to bring some, development and improvement, to livestock resting and of course some businesses. Walk us through all of them and the implications of this new bill.
Fantastic. So the federal government has opened up the electricity space, and states now have the power to generate, transmit, and distribute electricity in addition to regulation. And the Edo State government, under the leadership of Governor Okhuemoi, has immediately taken advantage of that by facilitating the passage of the Electricity Law 2005 that was passed in, I think that was March or thereabout. Now, what that means is that the state is able to generate, transmit, distribute, and regulate power in the system. That bill also creates the Edo State Electricity Regulatory Commission, and it also enhances the Edo State Electricity Advisory Council, which is made up of stakeholders. So all of these platforms working together, open up the electricity generation space. And not only, like I said, does it allow the government play in that space, it also helps regulate. So some of the issues the people suffer at the moment with the existing discos and other electricity issues will be better addressed. It gives the government more control, and the governor will be working with the government under the leadership of Senator Monday Okhuemoi. Will be working with private investors in that space. And like I said, a lot of investors who have been coming in, who are interested in investment opportunities in Edo State, are really looking at the power sector. That's a major one that would drive massive development and, of course, prosperity for the people of Edo State.
Yeah, very interesting. Let's look at something also critical, something that is also raising eyebrows, which is the oil well reclamation. Can you speak on the legal, economic, and diplomatic and ground for being laid to reclaim the Oro oil wells?
Okay, so the subject of the oil wells are, they are national, they have more of national foundations. Those are issues that will have to be addressed nationally. But what we have is that certain oil wells that fall within the boundaries of Edo State, from records, have been ceded to neighboring Delta states, and we think that's not right. And Senator Monday Okhuemoi, in his usual collaborative, partnership-driven engagement with the federal government, is engaging them to see how that anomaly can be corrected. And there's work going on that presently.
Okay, so let's move on quickly and talk about infrastructural development and project being embarked upon by the Edo State Governor Monday Okhuemoi. And aside from road, I know there's an ongoing construction, the Benin Asaba road work, and let's know about the timelines and how the government will ensure accountability on project delivery. Because I watched the report not too long ago when the government did an unannounced special visit. So let's walk us through what's going on in Edo State in terms of road project and other ones.
If you come to Edo State, it's common parlance now to say Edo State is a construction site. Projects are going on everywhere. Over 200 kilometers of roads have been awarded already, and there are different levels of progress. The Benin Asaba project is a federal government-driven project with the private sector. It's an IPP, an independent project, with private investors. The road it was initially designed to start from Summit Junction in Asaba down to Park in Benin. But at the groundbreaking, at the commissioning in March, the Delta State governor made an appeal that it should be moved further down. So it's going to move to Second Niger Bridge. So from Second Niger Bridge, this is 125 kilometers of super highway, clean, solar powered, 10 lanes, fantastic project. The state governments provide the enabling environment for the projects to work. And Governor Monday Okhuemoi, as always, has keyed into the vision of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu concerning infrastructural development, and the project is ongoing. It has a 30-month delivery period. 30-month delivery period. It started in March, so we're probably looking at
Sometime in 2027.
sometime in 2027. Yes, just a bit later in 2027. Several other projects are ongoing. The first flyover in Benin City is, nearing completion. That should be ready by November, if I'm correct. It was designed for 18 months. It was an 18-month project. The second one has been awarded. That's on Adesua axis on Sapele Road in Benin. What's also more interesting about the infrastructural interventions of Governor Monday Okhuemoi is his intervention in federal projects, federal roads. He always held the belief, like some state governors in the past have done, not just Edo State, several other states. When a project is a federal government project, there's that tendency to say, oh, this is hands off, this is federal government, this is not our project. And to make excuses for them, if I'll be fair in making excuses for them, sometimes the resources of the states are not enough to even handle their own responsibilities, talk more of handling federal responsibilities. But Governor Monday Okhuemoi, being a grassroots person, being somebody who came from the people, being somebody who has strong empathy for what the people feels, has a different thoughts towards it. It might be a federal government project, but my people are the ones who suffer the effect of this roads. And he has intervened in several of those roads. One of them is the Benin road, which is a major road that takes you to the north. Benin is, Edo State, particularly Benin, is unique in the sense that it's a transit state. From Benin, you can access the north through the Adowa, you can access the east, you can access the west, you can access, the south. So it's those roads are very critical infrastructure, and he intervened, like I said, in the Benin road, and presently he's also intervening in the Sapele Benin Road, which is also a federal government project. But remedial work is going on there, and in a very short while, the one for European Benin is, that was at some point, it was a nightmare for motorists. What makes it worse is the day a truck breaks down. What it means is that the south is basically cut off from the north when that happens. But now there's free flowing traffic. Among so many other infrastructural interventions that the governor has.
Let's talk about revenue generation. Reports say that Edo State loses an average of $1 billion annually due to insecurity. And the governor has been in the news recently talking about court-related activities and how it has hampered development in Edo State. And specifically, I think there's some sort of amnesty ongoing for this court. Now, walk us through how the state's revenue is, and of course, what the government is doing as regards insecurity to calm or to tame all of these issues, so that all the revenues that should be accrued to the government is actually gotten.
Okay. So security was quite bad before we came in. We had a situation where if you go online, check the news about Edo State, it was almost always about insecurity, cultism. That wasn't the kind of image that the governor was going to accept. I'm happy you brought in the economic angle. Edo State thrives heavily on tourism, and that's something that Governor Monday Okhuemoi is also going to be focusing on. Nightlife in Benin is very central to a lot of activities. A lot of income is generated, from nightlife activities, from hospitality activities. When these cult problems go on, nightlife activities almost come to a stop. People don't come out at night, so hotels are losing money. Hospitality outfits are losing money. And then the general perception of insecurity that it gives to the state, it scares off investors. When people want to come, nobody wants to bring his money to where it's insecure. Nobody wants to bring his money to where it's unsafe. And then, of course, when you consider the human cost, the lives that are being lost, young people's lives being lost. So it wasn't something the governor was going to allow to continue. And that was why immediately he came in, that was one of the first things he addressed. And there's been a lot of talk around his strategy and his style, the demolitions. Governor Okhuemoi believes that everybody must be responsible A lot of times the focus is always the government, the government, the government, the government. The truth is the government is like the last station in a lot of interventions that should take place. If the parents fail at home in raising the kids properly and they become deviant in future, it becomes the responsibility of the government to handle. If the religious organizations, the religious, bodies don't do what they are supposed to do, don't pass the message that's supposed to be passed, these people become a problem to society. As a landlord, you give your house to somebody. You should know who you are giving your house to. What does my tenant do? Where does he work? You see meetings being held in your premises, and you think because you've collected rent, that's okay. After all, the rest is left to government. So Governor Okpebolo's ideology to things like that is we must put all hands on deck. We must apply all processes, must apply all strategies. So while government is focusing on punitive measures, punishing those who do it, responsibility must be put on the prevention side. People who have a responsibility to prevent this must do that. So the anti-kidnapping law was signed, it was amended, and it was signed with stiffer penalties. And one of the penalties was any premises where violent crime was either planned, organized, or aided will be brought down. And when the governor did that law, maybe some people thought this was like another government. Maybe they thought this was like another government that just talks and doesn't act. And immediately the thing started again. The governor took action, and that's what's been going on with regards dealing with the cultism issues. Now, the other major security challenge we had, which is being abated now through partnership with the federal government, was the herdsmen issue. And that was a very serious one for the governor because that was a direct threat to the agricultural plan that he has. And having a series of meetings with the federal government, with relevant agencies, the military. I mean, we have images of him with the chief of air staff. And then, of course, rejigging the state security structure, the Edo security network. That problem is gradually being, those guys are very fluid. They stay in the bush. They don't have boundaries. So they move from location to location. So what you just try to do as a state, as a leader of a location is to ensure that they don't find comfort in your own side, so they move to another side. So that's it basically. Once security is sorted out, the investments will come in, nightlife will come back, tourism will drive, and this funds, this money that has been lost will not be the situation. Yeah.
You're still watching Business Insider Plus TV Africa, and we are looking at Edo State economy. That's what we are focusing on. More talk, more action in a moment when we return. To join us again. All right, welcome back. It's still Business Insights on Plus TV Africa. I still have Bugie Okhuemoi, SA Media to Edo State Governor, and we are focusing on the Edo State economy. So, Bugie, a whole lot you have said as regards what the state government has planned and what the citizenry or the residents are going to be enjoying. Let's talk more now about the PPP engagement and, of course, what partnership you have. That's your state with the World Bank.
Fantastic. This is one that particularly excites us. The World Bank spring meeting held in April. Edo State sent a very, very strong delegation, made a very strong appearance there. And if we brag a little, Edo State was the only subnational government in Nigeria that had an appearance there. While at that meeting, the Edo State delegation held its first international investment summit, where potential investors were brought together and Edo State was marketed to them, and the results have been outstanding. The excitement, the actions that the Okpebolo government has taken in making business easy to do in Edo State was very attractive, and a fallout is already coming out of that. Just a couple of days ago, a team, the Edo Investments, Edo Diaspora Investment Forum, made up of Edo indigenes who were in Benin to see the governor. One of their questions at the side meeting at the World Bank spring meeting was, can we meet with the governor directly? Is it possible to have and they were promised, and immediately they came, they met with the governor, and they are very interested in making investments in several sectors: real estate, power, that's the energy with the deregulation of the industry, power, mining is also a very major place. So that's very attractive for a lot of people. In terms of infrastructural frameworks, we had the private partnership office, public-private partnership office it operated initially as by executive order from the past administration, but now it's been made into a full-fledged agency. It's going to boost investor confidence. It's going to boost. It's going to regularize the framework of how investors do business with the state. Um, like I said, so much interest in several areas. One of the major areas is also mining. That's something we're looking at. Edo State has some of the rarest minerals globally, some of the rarest precious stones. And what the government has done is, because it's a federal reserve. That's one of the things on the concurrent list is the government has now purchased 33 mining minerals. So where the investors have challenges accessing those licenses, what the government has done under the leadership of the governor is to purchase those minerals. So we have 33 mining licenses already acquired by the Edo State government. And through those, we'll be able to enter into joint ventures with investors to get them developed. And of course, there'll be a revenue sharing process. So that and so many other key interventions have been going on in terms of investments. I mean, in Edo North, we have gold, we have lithium, we have dolomite, and so many other fantastic opportunities.
Like a sound of now, I'm sure the young people might want to really know what the government has in store, for them, because we believe that the future is for the youths, that the leaders of tomorrow. So in terms of youth empowerment and in terms of job creation and tackling unemployment, what is the state government saying to the people, especially the young people, as we round off quickly?
Of course, the young people are a central part of Governor Monday Okpebholo's plans and agenda. So much is going on. A lot of the overall initiatives being driven by the government have the youth components involved in it, but particularly the EdoJobs agency, that's the Edo State Skills Development Agency, has been pushing a lot of innovative and very effective activities. They have the internship and apprenticeship program. That's where people are, I mean, you need a job, they ask for work experience, you see. And like they would usually say, if you don't give me the job, how do I get the work experience? If while looking for the job, you're asking me for experience. So the agency comes in to bridge that gap by giving you necessary opportunities to gain that experience that makes you employable. Then they have the digital literacy program. They have the Edo Craftings Innovation Challenge. They have the Edo State Government interest-free loans, particularly for young business owners who run small businesses, where you can access between 2 to 500,000. It's interest free. You have a 1 month moratorium, and then you can pay back over 12 months, which is something that they're really excited and looking at. We're also partnering with international agencies to draw innovation initiatives that help the young people. Recently, there was a partnership between this EdoJobs agency and the International Organization for Migration, to IOM, to empower a lot of our young people, to discourage illegal migration, and to also rehabilitate those who come back, where they're equipped with digital skills, and that has been very, very effective. So the government is driving innovation, the government is driving youth entrepreneurship, and all the support that they require has been made available.
All right, Boogie, we must say a very big thank you to you for joining us very much as I'm sharing what the government and, of course, Governor Okpebholo is doing for the people economically, and, of course, to better their lot, to ensure that residents can go to bed with both eyes closed, and, of course, states can actually be top there when it comes to IGR and, of course, investment. Once again, thank you for.
Thank you so much, Justin. Always my pleasure. We're always available when you need to talk about Edo State and the beautiful things happening under the leadership of Governor Okpebholo.
A pleasure.
Thank you.
All right, and that's the size of the show for today on Business Insight. I have been speaking with Bugie Okhuemoi. I will be looking at the Edo State economy and, of course, what the people stand to gain economically from the government of Governor Monday Okpebholo. So stay with Plus TV Africa and join us again next time for another exciting edition of Business Insight on Plus TV Africa. My name is Justin Akadonye. See you again next time. Bye for now.